Hi, I'm Madeline from Sheen Slings, and this is the DracoMom Hatchling carrier. DracoMom are a brand based in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and their fantastic hatchling carrier has just become available in the UK. If you are looking for a carrier that will work right from newborn, this is a fantastic option to consider, and I'm going to tell you why and talk you through this carrier in depth. So the reason I think this is a brilliant option for newborns in particular is it's made from really soft, light material. So this is, I'll hold it up so you can see, this is a cotton polyester blend jersey. So it's about 50% cotton, 50% polyester. It feels really, really super soft. It's really easy to wash and clean, and it's got a slight stretch to it, which means it really molds over baby, but it's not too stretchy, so it'll stay feeling supportive as baby starts to put on weight, which they do rapidly. The other reason it is fantastic for newborns and the newborn period and beyond is it's adjustable. And compared to comparables, it's really a lot more adjustable than any other I've seen in this sort of class. It adjusts in two ways. If I start at the waistband, we have Velcro inside here, which goes smaller and larger. So this is on its largest setting, and this carrier is weight tested from 3.5 kilos to 11 kilos. I think 11 kilos is possibly a bit adventurous, but based on this width, I think this carrier could easily be used for around up to about a year. Based on this width, I think we're quite happy up to around a year. Because of how this carrier feels when it's in use, I think people are going to get the most use out of it in the first 6 months. And then a lot of families will probably move on to something more robust, or start phasing in something more robust, and maybe just use this around the home after that. But it really works beautifully from newborn to 6 months, and then you may get to about more like a year. But the reason I think it works so brilliantly for newborns is that we can really get this nice and small. So you can see I've got absolutely tiny. If I put that on, I can really get this down ever so tiny. So teeny tiny newborn, even if they're not really spreading their legs very much, we can really make it right so that they can get their legs out and this can fan around their bottom. And we get a really beautiful snug fit, and then as they grow, we can continue to just let this out little by little to continue giving them the support they need up to a year. I'm going to set this for my doll so you can see it on my doll, who's more like a 6-week-old, so they're somewhere more in the middle of this. And I love the fact that it's so adjustable. Most newborn carriers, so if we look at other comparable ones, like the Baby Bjorn Mini, it doesn't adjust in the width at all. Baby rapidly grows out of it. We look at the Ergo Embrace, there's 2 settings, and you often sort of, the narrow setting works quite well, and then it can be a bit awkward because then you move up to the next setting and it's a little bit too big. What's really nice about this is the babies do their most growing in that 0 to 6 months. They change so much in that period, and you can really do this incrementally, bit by bit as needed. More similar to something like the Mamaruga Zen Sling or the Izmi carrier, and we've really got this super softness with that. So I'm going to get the waistband nice and tight. I'm going to show you the other way in which this carrier adjusts, which is here. So it also adjusts in height, which the Izmi adjusts in a similar way, but it doesn't adjust in height. And I really like that we've got both options here. So I've just got these toggles, and I can cinch down to make the carrier shorter for a newborn. And then as they grow and need the carrier to come up, we can come up bit by bit as needed. So I'm going to set this for my doll, relatively short. So I love the fact that it's super adjustable. So to talk through how it fits for a parent, we have a relatively not too thick, sort of medium-sized waistband. It is padded, but again, not really firmly. We haven't got the bulk of something like one of the big bulky Ergos. It's actually very similar to the Ergo Embrace, similar in width and similar in feel. It's padded, but it's quite soft, it's quite mouldy, so it's quite easy to get a nice snug fit. It adjusts from both ends, so you can get that buckle wherever it sits comfortably on you in your mid-back, or if you're more comfortable with it to one side, you can do that. I quite like this sort of rainbow webbing. I think that depends on the colourway. At the time of making this video, there are 3 colourways. There's this blue, there's a green, and there's a grey. And both the green and the grey just come with plain black webbing. It's only the blue that's got the fun rainbow, which I like. So I'm going to grab my baby and continue going through this carrier. So I'm going to grab my baby. So the idea is that they then sit here, and we can open that around them as needed. So we can, and as I said, we can adjust that to really make sure it's sitting in the backs of their knees, and we can get really narrow. So this carrier, they say from 3.5 kilos, but actually I think it will go smaller. I think that's more about insurance and checking that there isn't anything else going on. But if you know your baby's fit and healthy and you're happy to wear them, I think it will work a lot smaller as soon as you can get them up from there. I think it will easily work on 6-pound babies. And then you can see the panel really shapes, and we can adjust these toggles to get the right height for baby. And then we come to the shoulder straps, and these are nice and soft. They're relatively wide, but not too wide, so they will fan across the shoulders, and they're designed to crisscross. Designed to crisscross, come across here. We've got a safety elastic if we want to use it. Pull that through, and it just plugs in here. So super, super simple. One little bugbear with this carrier came to me new from manufacturer with a twist in it. It's probably quite straightforward to take it out. I'm going to take it out eventually, but slightly irritating. It would be something that if I was a nervous new parent, I would assume I was doing wrong, rather than realising that it had been, the buckle had been put on backwards. But will be an easy fix to make. And I can plug that one in and get my babies up. So you can see the straps are really super soft, really fan if you want them to, or you can leave them not fanned. Really give a nice mould and really sit smoothly, distributing the weight across your back. So in terms of design, it's quite similar to something like a stretchy wrap or a kaboo, but without all the tying and the faffing. Just simple click, click and in. Again, we've got this rainbow webbing, which won't be on the other colourways. And we've got quite a lot of strap actually. So this, and you can see we've got quite a lot of space. So this is a carrier that will fit loads of different body shapes, down to a lot thinner than me, but also up to a lot wider than me too. If you do find this quite flappy, they have put little tidies on the end, so you don't have to have this all flapping in your way. So yeah, very size inclusive, really, really flexible carrier. So how does it compare to other things on the market? Well, I think the closest comparable is the Ergo Embrace. It's really quite similar in design to the Ergo Embrace, but in my opinion, probably quite a lot more adjustable. So the Ergo Embrace has similar fanning shoulders, similar jersey material. This material I think is a bit lighter than the Embrace's material, or at least the standard. So they now have a standard Embrace and a mesh. I think in terms of the thickness, it's similar to the mesh, but without actually having the holes of the mesh. But on the Ergo Embrace, the mesh is quite a dense mesh anyway. So actually, I think in terms of coolness, it's very, very similar to the mesh Ergo, and definitely thinner than the standard Ergo Embrace. And it's definitely a lot more adjustable. The other main way it differs from the Ergo Embrace is it's quite a lot cheaper. So the Ergo Embrace costs £90 for the standard now. They've just put their price up from 80 to 90, and the mesh is 100. This carrier costs £55. Now, I think this price point is perfect because, as I said, this carrier is lasting you're going to get the most use out of it, 0 to 6 months. It will work right from day one for most babies, and most parents will find it works really well to about 6 months, and then many will move on to something more structured that offers more structure and back carries and so forth. And that's exactly the same for Embrace. The Embrace you use most newborn, doesn't work so well with teeny tiny babies, and to 6 months, can last to about 9 months to a year in much the same way this one, and then you will move on. So whereas 80, 90, £100 seems quite a lot to spend on something that's really only going to last the first 6 months, £55 seems a lot more reasonable. And that brings it in line with things like the kaboo and stretchy wraps, which are all around that mark too, and just works out. I think it's a really good, well thought out price point, and just is a carrier that's really, 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 really lovely. It's really cozy, really snug to wear, and definitely something I'm really excited to have added to the library and to show parents going forward. So if you have any questions, oh, last thing I should say, I forgot one thing. In terms of positions this carrier offers, it obviously does the inwards position as I've shown you. It also will do a hip carry. I can do that quickly. It will do a hip carry. Oh, sorry baby, gonna bring your head round. It will do a hip carry like so. It won't do a back carry because we haven't got a strap for that. So it's just those two positions, but as I said, really lovely for the newborn period. It's got loads of support, loads of adjustability, and lovely as a first carrier, particularly if you don't want something like a wrap and you want something that's quick and easy and clicks. So if you have any questions about this carrier at all, please do put them in the comments below or get in touch. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Bye.